Welcome to the July 19th, 2021 Eugene City Council public hearing. Thank you for joining us in this remote meeting format we're using as our state and community recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. This format enables the City Council to meet and take care of business while keeping everyone safe. Anyone wishing to access the meeting can do so by watching the live stream available on our website, the broadcast on Comcast Channel 21, or by following the instructions listed for this meeting on the public webcast and meeting materials web page. If you join the meeting via computer, device, or phone, your microphone, webcam, and phone are automatically muted when you enter the meeting as an attendee. There are two public hearings on today's agenda. For those wishing to testify, please wait to raise your virtual hand until I announce that it is time to do so in my introductory remarks. As a reminder, we are now allowing speakers the option of turning on your video when you are called on to provide testimony. As each speaker's turn is announced, the meeting moderator will temporarily promote you to panelist status, and you can unmute and turn on your video if you wish. Also, I remind everyone and encourage you to use this new increased access in a responsible way. Our intent is simply to be able to see each other's faces as testimony is given. Any violation of the council's code of conduct will result in immediate termination of your speaking privilege. And finally, if there is testimony you are not able to provide or wish to get to us in a different manner, please feel free to contact any one of us individually or together via email or voicemail. And so our first public hearing is a hearing on an ordinance on commercial setbacks. I will now open that public hearing, and I'll open the queue for people who wish to testify. So if you wish to testify on this topic, please raise your virtual hand now to join the speaker's queue in one of two ways. For those viewing the meeting on a computer, laptop, or other device, click once on the blue hand icon. For those listening to the meeting on a phone, press *9. Requests will be accepted until the first person to testify begins speaking. The meeting moderator will unraise or disallow any requests to speak that are made after the deadline. When the hearing begins, our meeting moderator will announce two speakers' names at a time. When it is your turn, the moderator will announce your name and promote you to panelist status. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Testimony presented at this public hearing should be directed toward the applicable approval criteria or other criteria that the speaker believes apply to the decision. The applicable approval criteria for this proposed land use amendment, code amendment, are from Eugene Code section 9.8065, which states that a land use code amendment must be: 1, consistent with the applicable statewide planning goals as adopted by the Land Conservation and Development Commission; 2, consistent with applicable provisions of the comprehensive plan and applicable adopted refinement plans; and 3, in the case of establishment of a special area zone, the proposed land use code amendment must be consistent with EC 9.3020 criteria for establishment of an S special area zone. Because this is a legislative code amendment, speakers will be called in the order in which they raised their hands. I'll now open the public hearing. Our city manager, who would normally provide an explanation of this, is en route to this meeting. She's running a little bit late, so she'll be here as the public hearing goes forth. And if there are a need for clarification from her, she'll be available at the end of the public testimony. So I'll give a summary of this topic of this public hearing. Tonight, the Eugene City Council is holding a public hearing to consider council-initiated code amendments to Eugene Code Chapter 9. The proposed amendments are related to commercial setbacks and, as proposed, would do the following: apply only to new buildings and linear expansion of existing buildings on commercially zoned property. They would require a minimum setback of 3 feet for property zoned C3 major commercial and 5 feet for property zoned C2 community commercial. They will add landscaping and hardscaping to pedestrian they will add landscaping and hardscaping or pedestrian amenity requirements for minimum setback areas of all commercially zoned properties. They allow exceptions to the minimum setback for ground floor commercial uses when windows and taller ceilings are provided. Dimensions and window percentages are context specific with more stringent requirements in the downtown area. They allow exceptions to the minimum setback for ground floor residential uses when residences are vertically separated and enhanced pedestrian space is provided. Setback reduction allowance is context specific and differs between downtown and other areas. And finally, they allow for an adjustment review process when a proposal responds to the intent of the code and creatively meets or exceeds the development standards. Council has held previous work sessions on the topic of commercial setbacks, one of which included a summary of focus group feedback gathered last fall on initial concepts for the code amendments that are before council tonight. Planning Commission held a public hearing on the proposed amendments in May of 2021. Following the hearing, the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the proposed changes. Tonight is a public hearing only. Action is tentatively scheduled for July 26th. And with that, I will turn it over to the moderator for the first speaker.
Thank you, Mayor. So we had Jack Rady with their hand raised and then it was lowered. So I'm moving them over to check in and see if they still wanted to speak. Jack, if you could please unmute if you would like to speak. Okay, I am going to move them back over to attendee, and that would conclude the public hearing. Looks like they are unmuting. Hold on.
Not me.
Oh, okay. They said not me, so that concludes the public hearing. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much, Naya, for that. Are there any questions, comments from councilors? Councilor Saret.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just curious, did the Planning Commission get public input at their public hearing on this?
Thank you for that question. The Planning Commission did not have any public comment at their public hearing.
And what about via email?
We did not receive testimony via email either.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Zelenka.
In response to Councilor Saret, while we didn't get testimony at this or the Planning Commission, we did have a pretty extensive focus group feedback with a whole bunch of different people. And maybe Althea, you can explain that process, which I think provided enough information to folks that they felt like they didn't need to do testimony, and that handled. Hopefully that's what can't tell why people don't come, but maybe that's why they didn't come, because they felt like that process handled most of their questions. Maybe Althea, you could talk about that.
Sure, thank you for that, Councilor Zelenka. I think I'll keep it fairly brief, but when this code amendment was initiated last fall, part of our direction was to go and get some early focus group feedback. And so we invited a lot of the individuals that make up our local design community to come and talk to us about the code amendments. And we started with that group of local professionals because those are often the end users of our code. And so we wanted to make sure that any potential changes were not things that were going to adversely affect projects.
Yeah, so I think on our last council meeting, we had inside the packet, there was that feedback was summarized and actually it was actually detailed, it wasn't summarized. So there's quite a bit of it. And hopefully that's why people didn't choose to testify either at the Planning Commission or here, because they had their say and input then.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Keating.
Got it. Thank you, Mayor. I have a question. If the planning commission discussed, or if I'm missing something in our packet, or if this at all affects businesses that have turned on a dime and created more open spaces in front of their businesses for folks to eat outside. I don't suspect that pandemics are going away anytime soon, unfortunately. And if I could get some clarification, perhaps on what this code amendment does at all to address the flexibility we've given businesses to encourage outdoor eating.
Thank you, Councilor Keating. As far as kind of the streetery program in Eugene goes, I know a lot of those streeteries are actually in our right of way. So I think particularly of Claim 52 in that area where we've extended an allowance for folks to put tables out into what were previously parking spaces. These code amendments are focused on private property. And so that would be the area that's actually on someone's site. So a little bit separate from the right of way and our current allowance for streeteries. I suppose the other thing I would mention with that too is this establishes a new minimum setback. So we're not requiring a building to go up to the 0-foot property line. So if someone was forward thinking and wanted to allow a little bit more space on their property, they could choose to set their building a little bit further back to allow tables or other amenities for their future customers.
I'm sorry, Mayor, may I jump in for just
Yes.
could you also maybe, in answering Councilor Keating's question, talk about the triggers for these new code amendments? It doesn't apply to existing buildings generally, is that correct? New buildings and large expansions.
Sure, that is correct. So these would apply to any new building. So vacant site where you're putting a new building, or a linear expansion of over 100% of an existing building, which is a pretty significant level of expansion.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And it looks like Councilor Zelenka has another comment.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment about how this interplay. I wanted to thank Gabe and Althea for spending some time with me and going over a lot of this stuff earlier last week and understanding it in a little bit more detail. But one of the things that got brought up in that meeting was the interplay between the street design and the building design. And sometimes it's, and what we're talking about here is the setback of a new building, but there's also deficiencies in streets in terms of how wide the sidewalks are and things like that. And so there's this interplay between how you fix the street and how you fix the building. And so maybe Althea, you could talk a little bit about that a little bit more. No, and they're not the same thing.
Sure. You know, I think when we think of the land use code, we're really talking about standards for private development. And so that's all on someone's private property. Whereas when we talk about kind of the design of our streets in more of a big picture way, we're really talking about public infrastructure. And those two things are separate from one another. I know there's some work going on right now with our public works staff with some new standards for our street designs. And so I'm kind of hopeful that those will be really helpful on the public side of things. And then on the private side of things, that's this code amendment is what we're talking about with trying to kind of raise the bar a little bit on our design standards for private development.
Right, so it's like the private developers are responsible for the building and the public responsibility is the right of way. And how those two things interact is very important to what it feels like when you walk on that street or what it looks like. And so that process of dealing with the right of way is really the public responsibility, and the private responsibility is related to the building. So they interact, but they're not the same thing. Thanks, Mayor.
Yeah, And actually, thank you for those clarifications. That was a helpful conversation. So I think if there are no other comments or questions, I would now close the public hearing. And we are ready to proceed to our second public hearing of the evening, an ordinance vacating portions of Mill Alley and easements located within the boundaries of the plat of Town Run. Oh, and then City Manager, would you please introduce the topic? Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. So the Eugene Urban Renewal Agency has requested vacations of one right-of-way and one public utility easement associated with an undeveloped plat, technically VPU 21-2 and VPU 21-2, and vacations of two public utility easements acquired with public funds, VRP 21-1 and VRP 21-2. So I think should have been VPU 21-1 and VPU 21-2. The URA filed these 4 requests for vacations related to the City Council's recent approval of the Town Run subdivision located on the downtown riverfront property. The right-of-way and undeveloped portion of Mill Alley was dedicated through the original plat of Eugene City in 1852, but never developed, and as a result, the vacation requires City Council approval. Additionally, one of the undeveloped easements was also part of the undeveloped original plat of Eugene City. The remaining 2 easements were purchased with public funds, and as a result, these vacations also require City Council approval. The applicant has requested the vacations to facilitate preparing the property for development. Thank you.
Thank you. As mentioned, this item is a public hearing on a proposed ordinance for the vacation of an undeveloped portion of Mill Valley, as well as undeveloped public utility easements located within the boundaries of the plat of Town Run. Those wishing to speak during this public hearing should raise their virtual hand now to enter the speaker's queue for this item. You may raise your virtual hand in one of 2 ways. For those joining us on a computer, laptop, or other smart device, click once on the raised hand icon. For those joining by phone, press *9. Requests will be accepted until the first person to testify begins speaking. The meeting moderator will unraise or disallow any requests to speak that are made after the deadline. When it is your turn to speak, the moderator will announce your name and unmute your microphone. You will have 3 minutes to speak. The City Council's role in this process is to approve with modifications, or deny the application. Do any councilors need to disclose any bias, conflicts of interest, ex parte communications, or abstentions pursuant to EC 9.7065? Okay. Seeing none, have any staff received any challenges to a councilor's impartiality submitted pursuant to Eugene Code Section 9.70655?
We have not, Mayor.
Thank you. Testimony presented at this public hearing should be directed toward the applicable approval criterion at Eugene Code Section 9.8725 or other criteria that the speaker believes apply to the decision. The full text of the approval criterion is available in the findings attached to the AIS for this public hearing. The failure of anyone to raise an issue accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to afford the City Council and parties an opportunity to respond will preclude appeals on that issue. Traditionally, once the public hearing is opened, speakers are called in the following order. First, those in support. Second, those with a neutral position. And third, those opposed. However, due to the limitations of the virtual hearing platform, we have to make some adjustments. The applicant will have the opportunity to speak first. Then testimony will be received in the order that interested parties have requested to speak. When you are called to speak, when you are called to speak, please give your name and address and clearly state whether you support, oppose, or are neutral to the application. The timer and lights on the podium indicate the time you have to speak. A yellow light will come on when you have 15 seconds to complete your comments. The red light indicates the end of your time. I now open the public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor. There is no one wishing to speak. for this public hearing.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any comments or questions that counselors wish to? Counselor Zelenka?
Yeah, I had two questions. One was, this is a very oddly named thing, the Plat of Town Run. I'm assuming this comes from a long time ago when they were platting out the way that the town would run. Does somebody know that history?
So
Being I like history.
thank you for the question, Counselor. The name is from the more recently approved town run plat that lays out the lots and right of way for the downtown riverfront project. So it's actually a pretty relatively new name.
Okay.
I'll just add to that, that is what that section of the Willamette River is called, the Town Run.
That's helpful. The other one's kind of a cool comment, being seeing that I like history. On page 33 of our packet is a map that showed the old mill race that ran through this property, and which I thought was kind of cool. And it was an easement for the mill race that went to a big log pond that sat basically around where Fifth Street Market is, I suppose. And that's old history of there's also a plaque to all of this outside on the north side of the Fifth Street Market that shows a lot of this as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for those comments. And if no one else has any other questions or comments, I will close the public hearing. And unless there are objections from council, I will close the record for these applications. Seeing no objections, the public hearing and record are closed. And as a reminder, deliberations and possible action are scheduled for July 26th, 2021. And with that, we are finished for this meeting. And I wish you all a good supper. We have a full evening ahead of us, 7:30 public forum, public hearing on the ad hoc committee. And so I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much. Have a good night.